This is a good vibe, man.
Make sure I get my chat. Oh, it looks like Rock's already followed.
Heck yeah, man. Sub for more content, homie.
We can't get subs.
Oh, we can't get subs? That's BS.
Well, I think you have to
Me
be,
for more content, homie.
you have to be affiliated or whatever.
Yeah.
So what do we want to start off with? Are you making something currently on Canva? Or did we want to go over questions first, or what would you like to do?
I think that I want to create something with you, my good man, Ethan.
Okay.
I want to make. We cool with you know, first names and stuff like that. I am. You can call me by my first name. Are you okay with
Yeah, I was thinking about making labels and stuff, but I didn't know if we were gonna have different people on here. If I just needed to have just ours set up, you know. Then, I mean, it'll be too easy to add things like that. But
yeah, absolutely. I think that I want to make with you something simple at first, right? Something easy, something fun. And the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of that, and and the game we love is like a hamlet or a village, a small little place that's normal and peaceful. And I think that should be pretty quick and easy for us, right? And we could put it,
maybe
just go throw it. yeah. It depends on, you know. But yeah, what do you say? Where would you like to? What age and time in Numestria would you like for it to be in, or even in a off of the continent? You know. It could be that little island, like when you finally get the boat in a JRPG that's like always had smoke, but you couldn't walk your character over there. Like as soon as you get the boat, you skip the main storyline and you just go straight there.
Well, let me pull up the map real quick.
Yeah. That's my idea. Is there anything itching at you? Is there anything that you feel like you'd like to create?
I'm pretty open for whatever.
All right.
To be honest. All right. Roll a.
I'm gonna roll a dice.
Roll a d6 for me.
All right. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this. Let me get your foot over here. Oh, that's nice. Okay. A d6. Right here. Oh, let me pick a good one here. That was long enough. 5.
A 5. Let's
5.
see. All right. Bloodfist Citadel it is.
The Bloodfist Citadel.
Something
wonderful.
That hasn't been explored a whole lot. So that kind of leaves it pretty open.
Yeah.
I will go to the
kind
history.
Kind of perfect, didn't it?
And
okay.
I'll read what little information we currently have.
I'm gonna pull up a whiteboard.
Premise.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a whiteboard here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna outline some of what we have going on. Hey Emma, thanks for joining the channel, buddy. All right, so the Bloodfist Citadel.
So what we got is.
Oh, you know what? I actually I'm gonna have to well, stopped you right in your tracks.
You're
I'm
good.
gonna have to do a different tab on. Oh, share this tab instead. Oh, I just do it like that, and it worked. Oh, well, that's great. Okay. Sorry, I interrupted you. Please.
No, you're good. Bloodfist Citadel, the main orc encampment, led by Grothrok Gortusk. The Bloodfist Citadel is.
Hold on a second. Grothrok, Grot, Gra apostrophe, GRO apostrophe,
GROTHEROCK.
I'll try again. I was laughing.
All the apostrophes are down in Zakir.
Oh, is that a Zakir thing?
Yeah.
It's the apostrophe. That's it. It's a dead giveaway.
It's those desert people. You know, all those lizards and gnolls and
you really channel like
outcasts.
you channel your inner like 12-year-old fantasy writer, you know, and just put like 8 apostrophes in a name. All right, GR what?
GROTHEROCK.
OCK, Grotharok. Great. Like a really good cadence to that name, by the way. Okay.
I have meritocracy. So.
Okay. Like a martyrocracy or M-A like.
MERITO.
Oh my god, I can't spell. I shouldn't be the one typing.
Based off of merit, so like strength.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
meritocracy.
If you're strong and you could kill the leader, you can pretty much, you take what's yours. Sort of deal.
Achievement
you know those orcs, man. They're vicious and stupid. Okay, so what we have is a northern camp called the Black Hands.
Okay.
What we know about them is that so all of the camps they have riders, and each camp has their own type of beast that they ride. So I kind of think of it as like, each area has a more like a higher prominence of the creatures that they ride. So the Black Hands in the north are saber cat riders.
Oh, okay.
And they are also highly proficient in hand-to-hand combat. There's a southern camp that you might be familiar with this name, the Iron Bloods, and they are dire warg riders. And they are a large group of raider tribes. And then we have the eastern camp called the Hate Bones, which is definitely ripped from EverQuest, my favorite level 13 camp, just outside of Facespires. It's the good old witch doctor, the orc witch doctor resin. If anybody remembers that or played that.
I don't. I didn't. You guys wouldn't let me play.
We wouldn't let you play.
Yeah, man.
It's a single player game and it was online. Anyways, the Hate Bones are a more shaman, druidic, spiritual type, and they ride hyenas, dire hyenas.
Oh, now that's cool, bro. Like the Warg Rider. Okay.
Yeah, Warg Riders, right. It's like, we've seen that before.
Saber cats are cool.
It's like, come on, we've Lord of the Rings, there's already Warg Riders, alright?
Hyenas have a pseudo penis. Interesting fact of the day.
Fantastic.
Yeah. They give birth through it. Oh yeah, the females have a huge pseudo penis that they give birth through.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's wild. And their back legs are shorter than their front legs.
Along with the eastern camp, and tied to the Hate Bones, is a site called the Pool of Eternals. And they safeguard this pool. There's 3 pools that connect to each other with an endless circulation of water that flows from one to the other. It is called the Shrine to Aquari, the elemental prime of water. They believe the shrine is a conduit that provides an enlightened flow of spiritual energy.
Nice. And this place actually is the elements, if I'm not mistaken, whenever it's first glossed over, the elemental nature of this place is like popping, right? This is like the thing.
Yeah, so the Bloodfist Citadel actually is the only place that contains dinosaurs and things like that.
Oh, so there's dinosaurs here?
Yeah, so everything is very primal in nature, and that's kind of why I wanted these sort of prime elementals to be housed here as well. The sort of how do I describe it? Just the start or the base of this sort of type of energy, and there is either a shrine or a structure or a vessel in this area for each of the elements.
Okay, so we have this like a shrine. Okay.
Not related to the camps, but I'll go over what I have for the other elemental things so far. There is Mount Emberflint. Is a large formation of dormant volcanoes and houses the ruined temple of Ignaruk, the elemental prime of fire. Let's see, a shrine made of basalt and brimstone within the center in the largest volcano known as the Hot Mouth. So there's a lot to be added there.
Of course.
Yeah. Along with the Wind Scar as well. If anybody is fans of Inuyasha, that will sound familiar. The Wind Scar is a vast and volatile ravine of storms, turbulent gusts and tornadoes. It is in a deep ravine on the edges of the abyss sits a small shrine to Aowen, the elemental prime of air. So, again, a lot to be added with that, which I just think that one's going to be very interesting to work with. Was it just geographically, I guess? Because it's not something that you really encounter. It kind of makes me think of Minecraft whenever you find one of those ravines, but instead of just an empty ravine that you can see to the bottom, it's just these violent storms that kind of crash and collide over one another, and you'd have to like shimmy down these cliff sides while trying to not be hit by the storms that are sort of clashing together or be blown off the side by the torrential winds.
That's a very exciting landscape here. And you said this is like houses. I hear you use houses the elemental of air, right? Okay. And then the mountain houses this elemental of fire. Sounds like, that's interesting too. I think there's a whole deep diving of like the lore and history, or like how they got there, why they're there, why they don't leave. But I think, oh, I'm sorry. Were you done reading that, by the way?
Yeah, I have the last
oh, go ahead.
element. If you want me to do that one real quick.
Of course.
Which this one has actually been seen. The players running through the second half of my first Numestrian campaign. They entered the Bloodfist Citadel for a little bit and were taken hostage by hill giants, and we're basically underneath this monument. But after Wilhelm Stone Tower, the bear totem barbarian, I believe he what is the race called? The Goliaths. Kind of he's like, they're like descendants of the giants, basically, right? So, yeah, he basically got in a one-on-one with like a baby hill giant and beat him, and they, but after they defeated him, they released him from their cells, but they just took off. They didn't stop to like ask questions or talk to anybody or do any exploration of the area. They're like, yeah, we just leave.
Oh man!
And they headed west and got out of the Bloodfist Citadel in a hurry, but they were below what is called the Moats of Yord.
Oh, that's a cool name. Cool name.
It's a floating system of large chunks of earth. So I kind of think of what is the Avatar, the floating islands.
No, okay, so they are like upside down islands or whatever that hover in the air. Do you have an updated map of Numestria where that is on there?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm looking at an old one, I guess.
Yeah, you should be able to see it under Numestrian history. It's the
okay, yeah,
map in there is current. You can see it. It's just not labeled, but I can send you a more isolated image of just Bloodfist Citadel.
Okay. In the docks, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
And there's giant statues that are built by and around this stone. Of one is a stone and one is a hill giant. And they are made to look like they basically have their backs to each other with their arms back, like they're holding the
like
moats
Atlas?
up. Yeah. So they're like back to back, and it looks like they're holding the moats up, but I mean they're actually levitating.
Floating.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's almost like to contain them from like floating outwards.
I mean, could be. Who are we but just humble observers upon the ground? And when you say giant statues, you're talking mountainous, right?
Yes, they're massive.
Mountainous.
Yep. Also with this, over time there have been stairs built that wrap around, so people can actually go to the top, and at the top there is a shrine to Terrandorn, the elemental prime of Earth.
Which
would be a great view, I would imagine, as well.
What made you put the elemental, like the earth elemental in the sky and the air elemental
in the earth?
In the earth, yeah. Like was that just like a little cheeky tongue and bit, or?
I just really liked the idea of the essence of the earth being described through the moats.
I do as well. That imagery is phenomenal. Like that is what an insane landscape that we've never explored. Wow.
And then for the air, I guess I haven't ever built like a giant ravine, And then just the idea of experiencing that type of weather in that type of location would be a unique combination.
It's like tempestuous, undaunting,
and it kind of makes it to
howling,
where
deafening.
It makes it to where you have to experience that to be able to visit that shrine for the air. Like, there's no way around it, and you can't just like walk in. Like, you have to make this journey like down the steep crags into the earth, but you're still experiencing like the harsh winds that will flow through this giant hole in the earth.
So I'm getting a vibe here, right? I'm getting a vibe here. Maybe like a little flow. So Grotharok, the leader, the least important thing that I did with my fingers today was type that out. The meritocracy, cool. But before all of that, this place was a home to the elementals that shaped a people whose greatest form of like respect is those that can by doing. They pay the iron price. They don't say you are not allowed to do something. They disallow you from it. And that is powerful. Like a mother grabbing your hand before it goes in the cookie jar. That's what keeps you from getting in the cookie jar, not because she said no. And that is that crawls all over your skin whenever that moment of being stopped, right? That moment of being stopped, or that moment of like having somebody else's will forced upon you. It's very experiential. And I think, like you said, you go to the edge of this place and like you stare into, I guess, the edge of the fucking world. I mean, what cool fables and stories come from that are going to be fun to kind of create. But this is a land of experience through your senses, through your like mortal senses and otherwise. Are we talking like spiritual, shamanistic, a tribalistic or like tribalistic belief structure in this place as well? I mean, you feeling that with these people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think and just how all of these altars are set up to visit or try to even find some sort of connection with these. Like, everything is primal. Everything is a struggle. So, I mean, you have to go inside of a volcano to be able to visit the shrine of the elemental prime of fire. You have to climb down a deep chasm filled with storms to visit the elemental shrine of air. You have to climb massive floating stones to be able to visit the earth. The waters, not so much, but it's actually guarded. But just everything about this place is like it touches on the purest forms of things.
The pure. Okay, everything is a struggle. Touches I don't think it just touches on it. It like, it doesn't just touch on it, dude. It like, it
Embodies.
it embodies it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a very like quintessential place for people to explore.
It embodies the primal.
And everything is very much like how the orcs are set up with meritocracy. Everything here is earned. Nothing is just given to you. If you want something, you have to go and take it from someone, or discover, or search for it.
Well,
you have to go out and get it, sort of thing.
Yeah. No, everything is earned. I like that as well. So there's achievement base, and I think achievement is, a little bit, because an achievement is almost like there's personal achievement, and then there's literally every other kind of achievement that is granted to you outside the subjective self, right? So I think that like you have the personal achievement base, but kings don't wear crowns on their heads here, or maybe they do. I bet in the picture he's Grofrock is wearing a crown, isn't he?
I don't think so.
Oh, is he not? Good.
I haven't revisited the image. I need to mid-journey an image for all of my leaders.
Nice. Okay.
But no, he's not wearing a crown, and it might be it's probably a World of Warcraft image, so yeah, definitely need to get that changed.
Yeah, definitely change that, don't we?
But yeah, no, he's just this badass orc wearing giant tooth necklace, giant. I just see this giant palder on one side. It's got these giant, what I would assume to be, maybe some triceratop horns.
And the pauldrons are, the pauldrons are like ceremonial pauldrons. This dude fights ass naked.
Yeah, I would imagine the tattoos would be the same. Like, it's like Stolen Valor. You walk into a place with tattoos that you didn't earn, they just kill you.
But here there is
with that in real life.
Yeah, but that's something here. That's something about the Bloodfist Citadel that I think should be a foreign concept. Is something that you haven't earned, right?
Yeah.
It would be foreign to somebody from this place that what you have was bought with coin, like bartered for. I mean, there is some bartering here, right? I mean, there has to be some bartering here.
Yeah, everybody has their own skill sets, and they'll have their own market.
But theft, right? Like, would be like, oh, maybe some of the best thieves come from here. Yeah. And stories about like the vilification of the best thieves, because they stop them. Then if you don't want them to have it, then stop them.
Yeah. Or they know the consequence. Maybe in other places it's a little bit more tolerated, but people know very well if they steal here and are caught, you're basically risking your life to steal something.
But aren't you risking but every day you're risking your life in this place, right? Because you're so exposed all the time that I feel like these people, like, also I keep bringing it back to like the people too. I really think you hit on something earlier, and that was that I'm leaning over here towards your face, and that was that you had a group of players come here, right? And I've been thinking about this myself throughout my DMing experiences. Going back, seeing moments like this, and then they missed out on something that was so great. And I realized I never told them about it. You know, I was like, oh, just, you know, I was like, oh, when they get there, they'll discover it, or, you know, oh, who's going to be the first one to journey outside of the light of the fire this night, and what are they going to be looking for? And I often find that it is only what I tell them is around them, right? And so I'm doing two things about that. But the first one is this: create all the things that are there, the epic stories of, like, I don't know, the freaking tornado man decides to come up out of his grave, and they gotta go stop him or help him or whatever. Like, that's an easy story to create, right? And it's gonna be a fun one to create or whatever. But if they only go there to do that, they're just gonna leave after they're done. And they even one of the I was looking up one of the reasons why I was missing out on this, Ethan. And
Okay.
that was I have been a very, very bad DM, and also a very, very bad like teacher of DMing, because I never looked up just the basics of storytelling. I've been doing it for 20 years. And this is where these holes come in. And one of there are several different ones. You have protagonist, antagonist, setting. That's an interesting one we can get to later. Perspective.
I don't think that it has anything to do with being a bad DM or a teacher. I think it's just the part of learning.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I view myself, is like, you know, I'm still learning. Like, I don't even know all the rules, let alone storytelling. This isn't something that I ever adventured in growing up, like in school. I didn't care about English or story writing, things like that. You know, it never interested me. I feel like I've always had a decent imagination for things, but I never capitalized on it. And I mean, ever since I started playing Dungeons and Dragons, it's awesome.
Of course,
obviously. I mean, everything, all the time and energy that I put into it. So I think it's not that it's about being a bad DM. It's more just there's always something to learn.
Absolutely, man.
Always. I feel like outside of Dungeons and Dragons, a good thing to try to hold a standard for yourself is that there's always something to learn. Never feel like you've reached your peak, you know, always strive to better yourself in some way.
Oh, getting philosophical on us. I like it. But, you know, and with this side of with that side of humble pie, I missed out on that, right? And I also missed out on do it loosely and like loosely follow the rules as they serve you, right? And there's a piece of my storytelling that has not been served, and that is, it feels like a whole story that we consume on a daily basis. I, for one, I can't pick things apart like that. I kind of miss it. So I'm going across these, I found the different elements of a narrative, which is what we're doing when we tell these stories. Perspective is one of the important ones, right? Setting, that's made by all the players at the table, right? And that by us as DMs and storytellers, But if they say, I go into a bookshop, they just generated that setting. And if your players know all the parts of the narrative and you know all the parts of the narrative, they went to that bookshop for a freaking reason, dude. And everybody's like, okay, what's that? How are we, as we move through this, like this, loose structure of how most stories are created and told, part of it takes place in this bookshop. And as a DM, ooh, cool, what elements to give them, and interesting things to help generate and create with them. Perspective is lost whenever, like, that's the one, like, that comes from all the people around. So you make the bad guy. This is how a lot of people do it. We focus so hard on the dungeon and the challenge ratings and the numbers. And like, can you tell me how long have you been building Numestria? Oh, you're muted.
Oh, before I answer that, I just realized that I had my Google Doc open and couldn't see the stream chat, so sorry about that, Evan. Evan mentioned a skull crown, royal effigy garments, which sounds extremely badass, and then
royal effigy garments.
I'm assuming that we're talking about the orc chief. Like,
are we going to describe Rothrock right now? Hold on, guys. Have you not been listening?
And then he also mentioned good goal is to learn something new every day. Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
Thanks, man. Hold on. Look, Grothrock's gonna die, bro. But like, these people are gonna keep living on.
I mean, someday.
Yeah, man.
It's just how it gets, man.
Yeah.
Being the chief is a young man's game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're just that badass 50-year-old that's still kicking it, right?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like, the perspective of what this world is, like, you tell people, like, you told your players, it is an orcish land, tribal, craggy. They saw a dinosaur and ran, bro. They saw a Tyrannosaurus Rex. They got the fuck out of there, never came back. But if you told them that the people of this place embody the primal nature of experiencing life through their mortal senses, and everything in this place is earned, they would be like, oh, and there are hyena riders too. There are hyenas large enough to ride, and it has, it is known that you can tame them. They would be like, okay, hold on a second. Yeah, they would be like, we can dodge one Tyrannosaurus Rex to get to these people. So I think that's where I would like to start. I would like to start with the shrines you talk of, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to start in one place at a shrine, not one of the larger shrines, a smaller shrine that is taken care of by, I don't know, a couple folk, who knows, but by some people. And it doesn't have to be we don't have to write a freaking book about it, but I think that's what I'd like to work on.
Okay. The shrine we do know that has people who watch over it is the Hate Bones.
The Hate Bones. Can we rename some of these guys? Can that be part of the creative process?
You don't like Hate Bones?
Not anymore. At first I loved it. It was very metal and rock and roll.
The EverQuest thing, you didn't like it?
I mean, I like EverQuest. I don't know. I mean, let me ask you this as we're going over. I'm gonna pull up my Mid-Journey, and I'm gonna start generating images of this place that I see to get some concept art in here. And as we're going over this thing that you have already created, like a year ago, or a year and a half ago. How much of it is sacred, and how much of it is like, do you feel like you can change or should be changed?
I mean, that'll probably vary depending on what the content is. Evan, I also like the effigy gets larger from each past chief, so
Mm-hmm. That's something about right down it.
It's like just every new chief, there's like another skull stacked on top of the polders. So eventually, like 100 years later, there's just gonna be like massive piles of skulls on top of these.
There's also something interesting about that. Effigies getting larger is a again one of those mortal senses. You see, each one of those skulls was earned, was not given. No, nobody helped him cut that head off, right? Because that's not that. So each one of those skulls is earned, and is a prize. Like, you don't earn like not prizes, whatever that is. You know, it's not earning it. You earn prizes. So like, if you see somebody potentially that has like a warrior that's out and about, 3 skulls on his belt, you're like, dude's pretty bad. But then you walk into a place and there's this like hermit, huge long beard, and he's sitting on like 45 skulls. You're like, okay, we respect this guy immediately. He earned each of those skulls. And like it's like a good visual thing for the players too, to see like what like, I guess, how powerful an NPC is,
how badass somebody is,
what they are and have been willing to sacrifice, which is everything, and how many times they have achieved, and they have achieved, like, I don't know, greatness or not doing it.
Yeah, it's like how long Darthraki's ponytail is.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so, and the Dothraki ponytail. So I think there is something about this like pauldron stacking thing, a very visual aspect to it. Yeah, cool. I want to explore that too. All right.
So yeah, going back to what you were asking me before, I think it will vary on what it is, and I guess I would imagine it being I'm sorry to those hoarders out there, but you know, there's certain things that I'm gonna want to stick for, you know, and then there's gonna be other things where it's like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with changing whatever. It's not a big deal. Like the name Hate Bones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm perfectly fine with changing it.
That's good. Good.
I mean, I really like the Hate Bones. I think it's a cool name, but I'm fine with changing it.
So fucking hilarious, bro. Like, I mean, again, another thing, don't take yourself too damn serious. You know, Hate Bones are fucking hilarious, right? There's something just hilarious about that. The Pool of the Eternals, you know, or what's the name of one of the primordials? I'm sure it's like super like fantasy-esque and like
so if we're working with the Pool of Eternals, it's a quarry.
a quarry. Wait a minute. I like that one better than Hate Bones. I like that one better than Hate Bones. That one's really tongue in cheek. I do love, like, I don't know. I now you've got me confused. I don't know if I like Hate Bones or don't like Hate Bones. All right. So I'm gonna use Midjourney, and I'm also gonna use Chat GPT to kind of give me some creative words for imagery. I have a goal here with this today. Here's my goal with this. I would like to...
Anybody has any questions, by the way, feel free to ask.
Or would like us to...
Or input.
Yeah, man.
Anybody out there has some alternatives for hate bones?
Yeah, all 4, I think. I don't know how many sit in here.
Yeah, so we have Iron Bloods and Black Hands.
Iron Bloods and the Black Hands.
So far.
All right. Nice. Have a...
So I just have our home screen, by the way, showing right now. So if you're creating something in the screen and you want me to display it, just let me know.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Pull it up. It's not... okay, well, it doesn't look great, actually. Not gonna lie. It's just my notes.
Oh, okay.
Of what I'm taking. But it's okay.
XXX. Porn stairs.
Yeah. Well, okay, so here's what I got from you, okay? So we got the Bloodfield. There's fucking dinosaurs here. That's awesome. Grothrock, kings don't wear crowns. Everything is earned. I keep coming back to that. It's good. The wind scars, the pools of eternals. This beautiful image right here. I think this has to be like the first image that we generate. It's just so beautiful. Like, you have to generate that image and get it just right, because this and the wind scars, like, those have to be generated. This land, it's a land of experience with the senses, mortals and otherwise. I'll lean into that otherwise. Everything's primal. It's a struggle and it embodies the primal. And then a vilification of thieves. Visual piles of skulls, or like the how many ponytail whatever you have, you know, like this idea of the heroes here are the ones who cannot be stopped. That creates a lot of villains in other culture, but here it creates strength, you know, it creates resilience. Yeah. Okay, I want to have like a spiritual, like a ritual slash what do we call them again? Shrine.
Call what? Oh, shrines, yeah.
Shrine slash purpose. There we go. Yeah. Purpose and I guess is behavior the right word that I'm looking for here?
Let me pull your thing up. Have a spiritual, ritual, shrine, and purpose.
So I don't, not like practice with capital P. That's it. Like religious practices, you know, you go to church on Sundays. You, for Christianity, you, I don't know, pray for other people. You know, give away shit you don't need, or you know, donate to those who need it. And when you have more, or whatever it is, place both your hands together before you eat food and close your eyes. That, you know, these very visual cues of, you know, that this person is doing something for the purposes of like practicing their connection to these elements, right? To the elementals and to their way of life, for no other reason than because it is the way it is done, and it, that like binds them.
I imagine it'd be like a regular practice, just through their daily lives, and not necessarily something where they have to like take the time to set aside or do things like that. I'd imagine it would be a part of their celebrations or their dancing.
Okay, daily life.
I imagine like Native Americans.
Okay. So like, they're like tribal, like indigenous American tribal people, but okay. I think that there are like small uncontacted tribes also do the same thing, of a lot of dancing and a lot of storytelling and a lot of they do things in a very particular way, just because that is the way it is done,
Yeah.
And they have what's the word called? Not self-control. That's not the right word.
Rock says he'd imagine something more for when a new leader has arisen.
Yeah. What probably happens? Discipline. Self-discipline. Self-discipline, right? That'll be a very interesting one. Like, what happens? They're disparate peoples, right? Like, you have like large bands in these tent cities, I'm assuming. But we haven't really gotten that far.
Yeah,
so
it would be mostly like
buckets.
hides and like teepees. Yeah, large. Yeah.
Okay, so
like
we have large
buildings,
collectives,
things like that.
yeah, but across this like craggy plain, there is a bunch of other people doing the right, doing their own thing, and maybe like lighting a fire, or like that's one way, like as light shines all across the land, or something that could be seen from very far away or witnessed, I think would be like how they set an alarm off. They let everybody know something has happened. And okay, daily life, dance, celebration, self-discipline, birth. I bet that happens more. And death of like a normal person probably happens more than a new leader. And because when a leader dies or a leader is new, both of those mimic what the regular people who are like worshiping, or who are beneath this one person who has just been made leader, and it's like, okay, now I will lead you, and they're like, okay, of course, because the ritual of that mimics in a grander fashion what happens for birth, right? And then the same thing with death. As that person dies, they don't just get buried; they get buried in the biggest hole, or in the under the largest pyres.
The largest funeral pyre the world has ever seen.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's always to the extreme for them. Yeah. Okay. I like this. And I want to kind of, what I want to do is I want to explore these things, and have them be truths, right? So as we're there's this new thing that I would like to try, Ethan, and to see how it works. And that is, I forget where I heard it. It may have been like a famous dungeon master quoting something that he read. Um, but it, whenever you create something new in fantasy and you're introducing it to the players, make 6 truths about it, and just have those 6 things be true and consistent, and the world will feel like real and viable. Actually, that was from the Lazy Dungeon Master Guide. That's where that was from. The Lazy Dungeon Master Guide. And I'd like to try that. I'd like to see if that will help stick. It's easy to remember these 6 things. I can keep them up whenever we're playing in the world. I keep referencing them, you know, as we're creating things while we play.
So we're making some truths now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And do we want it to be about? Yeah. What do you want it to be about?
Let me read this comment from Rox real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Rock says, well, I am thinking that if they do have the effigies for previous leader skulls, this would be a more ceremonial. Maybe the leaders are called Phoenix as a death rebirth of mantle of leadership. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that like that very North Korean idea that
the cleansing of the skull. How
the cleansing of the skull
leader's body is disposed.
Oh yeah, dude, you got to get rid of that thing. Nobody earned it. He died of old age, right? Like if he dies of old age and gets like an old person's death or something, or like not dies of old age, but his is reclaimed by the elementals,
It's like when you were talking about when we were watching the UFC the other night, the interim champion or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
When somebody just leaves instead of actually earning it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that is like the biggest spit in the face to whomever comes up next from the person with like, they take their phallic like pauldrons with them, like the interim king does not get, he comes with like little noodly ones, or like he has to start building his own, right? All right. Yeah, so 6 truths about the people of the Citadel. I think you've spoken on the first one, and that is of their race according to D&D, right? And they are orcs. And what else? Giants?
Yes, there are hill and stone giants. Now, is this just in general, like what you can find in this area, or right? Is that what I'm assuming?
Yeah. So we're just gonna be like this is
Then there would also be Goliaths.
Okay.
And I would say that those are probably the prominent races. Thinking about possibly doing like Genasis at one point, but I don't know if that's gonna be a thing or not.
Interesting. I like the idea of Genasi not being from Numestria and feeling foreign. I really like that idea because they're so elemental. and I don't know, I feel like, but I mean, maybe they are here, I'm not gonna put that much thought into it. All right, so this is gonna be, yeah, these are the truths for the Bloodfist Citadel here. Copy. Paste.
Oh gosh, what happened?
Oh, it just overlapped. My bad.
Oh no.
All right.
I like the idea that the people can either ascend or transcend or attain some sort of awakening through spiritual journeys. Like something that would need to be provided by like a shaman, but these sort of walks that they have to go through are necessary in order to reach the next level, and whatever that may be.
I had a super cool spirit walk planned for was it Keltare? What was the name of that character again?
Keldore.
Keldore. For Keldore, I had like a super cool spirit walk planned for Keldore. That was like super awesome. I'm sad that we didn't get to do that, but I'll get to relive that fantasy here. All right, so okay, so spirit world.
We can leave it vague if you want.
Okay.
That way it can be open for DM's interpretation.
So spirit is alive. I like that too. Everything is earned. So, I mean, like that influences their language, the way they communicate with each other. Like, please, thank you, may I, are not a part of their culture. Politeness is what we think as respectful, but oftentimes people are just polite and not respectful, just to be like not grading, or just to not stir waves. Not in this place. Oh no.
Yeah, I would imagine it'd be just like anything else that you have to earn, right? So if you go up to a stranger, why would you expect them to show you any sort of respect or politeness? Because if they don't know you, you haven't earned it.
Yes.
You have to put in the time or show them, that you're worth that sort of respect.
Yes, everything is earned. And
people might give you opportunities, but I would imagine most people wouldn't even think about accepting you or anything that you have to offer, and that's not like like currency or things like that, but just like your word or
I feel like in this place it's not, and that's exactly, you said your word, and in this place I don't think your word is one thing, but I also think you were talking about tattoos.
Yeah.
You were talking about visual representations of.
Yeah, just like the skulls, you could easily do tattoos as well. And that could all be dependent on tribes as well.
Right. But you said they were covered in tattoos, or like, tattoos are a very common thing.
Yeah.
So with the mortal senses are sacred, right? So to blind somebody would be a, if you were just like, if you were fighting but not to the death, because not everything is to the frickin' death, you're fighting, and in this fight, you blind another person. That's a huge spit in the face, right? So like seeing a badass, battle-scarred orc, shaved head, one eye missing, roaming across the landscape, is not a respected person here. Their achievements and tattoos have been removed, by the scars. So what they have earned has been taken away. One of their senses has been taken away. Their hair has been shaved. Like all of these things that communicate, like the sacredness of the body and like to the people outwardly to you, outwardly gone. All right, cool. Oh, the elementals. Live here, Ethan? Is that the right word? You're muted, buddy.
Oh. You mean as in it is known that they exist?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say no. There are shrines. And, there are shrines because they existed at one point, but having seen them or, received anything or seen anything at all,
interesting.
That is still a mystery. Is that because they are just the representation of the land itself? Or, is there still actually like this being made of the pure element that they represent?
All right, so we're going to say that the 4 great elementals shaped these people and this place, right? And the last one, hyenas?
Just hyenas.
Hyenas?
They are, for certain.
So we have like physical, I don't know, like attributes and like the different populations of people who live here, orcs and hill giants and snow giants, the Goliaths. Spirit is alive. Everything is earned. The mortal senses are sacred. 4 great elementals shaped these people and this place.
Sounds pretty solid.
Mm-hmm. Just want to leave the last one blank for now?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody in chat there left that wants to, is there anything else that stands out as a single truth about this land to you guys, potentially?
And while we're waiting for a response, how many DMs does it take to change a light bulb?
Oh, yeah. You said you had a different answer for this. All right, so I actually use ChatGPT to generate this.
The question or your answer?
The whole joke. It was really fun. My answer is it wouldn't matter. All the players have dark vision.
Mm.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay. What about you? How many DMs does it take to change a light bulb?
I read this question as the light bulbs being the player's creativity or way of thinking.
Oh God. Yeah.
So I was like, well,
yeah.
all it takes is one.
Just one DM. That's true, man. Yeah, man. You are getting a little like philosophical with me here. I'm liking it. I'm liking this. I do like this, man. That's awesome. So I actually have also started, like we're going to be creating a place that feels alive. And the things that we will be describing, like these 4 great elementals, are not the first thing we'll be describing. Like the way you describe this place, when we first like started working on it, and the way it is described after we're done, the land, like the spell scarred, or not spell scarred, but the wind scars, will be like if somebody asks you about America, how long before they get to the Grand Canyon? And so I think that's where it's going to kind of go, right? The first thing you're going to tell them is you're going to look at this cool ass picture I'm about to generate.
You have a picture now?
No, I was typing and thinking.
Gotcha.
I'm so sorry.
No,
all right, okay. So what actually, let me ask you this. I want to do, my end goal is to have a, like, I don't know, little old lady orc taking care of a shrine and just living her life, right? How she looks, and embody the Bloodfist Citadel as a commoner, right? So that's the end goal here. Where do you think I should go next with this?
All right, repeat everything you just said again. So you're making a commoner for Bloodfist Citadel.
Sorry. Am I speaking too quickly?
No.
You're also thinking?
Yes.
Okay. What are you working on, actually? What are you working on right
now? Nothing. I was just bouncing between screens to be able to read things.
Okay, I got you. So, my goal here, I think, is to create a commoner who is taking care of a shrine. And she embodies what it means to be, a person of the Bloodfist Citadel. I don't even call them citizens, bro, because they're not citizens. There are no borders. That is not how this is. And this is that thing of perspective, by the way. If they go cross into the mountains and they say this land's ours now and you can't take it back, what is law? Can it protect you? Well, you better go get some more of it, because it didn't seem to work.
And that is what brings importance to community, being a part of the tribe.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if strength is what is the determining factor of who runs things or who conquers things,
Who protects things?
Like,
See, we've been doing running and conquering.
You're not gonna find a whole lot of people out on their own, or just like, a group of like 5 to 10 people. Just they'll be wiped out either by wildlife, by hunted down by packs of raptors, or just raided by the Iron Bloods and left for dead, taking everything they have. So yeah, if you can't defend yourself, you won't survive.
So those are some of the antagonists of the Citadel, right? Protagonists in their own sense, but from this perspective, those are the antagonists. And then we have people who protect, like band together and protect. But so the leader of a group of people might be a great protector who has earned all of the people he protects. He has earned them life as well. And that is just as powerful as taking a life, is giving full lives to the people so that they can, practice the spirit and experience, like sense things, right? Like, the body is the temple, the 5 senses in being. And so you can so there is goodness here too, right? In that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that a typical commoner, everybody has to serve a purpose, right? When life is such a struggle, it's, just the simple things matter, right? So, like basic things like your shelter, like if that's not kept,
Yeah.
You have dinosaurs run through, destroy everything. If your guard isn't standing vigilant, people can just raid you. And then I would imagine holding all of these values, if we're talking about somebody that's taking care of like one of the temples, right?
And I was even thinking, not a temple like, just in my head here, not like the temple from over there, but a single standing stone, or a place of where the spirit is practiced, right? And they, it doesn't have to be the biggest or the best, or just one that is out there. And it still needs to be, this place is sacred because the spirit is alive and sacred. So they take care of it. They do what they needs to be done to keep the spirit alive within this, whatever the structure is. I was thinking going smaller, I was thinking going like real small and making it, just making it small at first.
Yeah, I got you. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. Just mentioning from earlier, I would say, how these people, they incorporate the praise and practices, throughout their daily life. How we were talking about, during celebrations, like the dances, even just having dinner, right? That's not always a thing. Like having a meal is a celebration. Whenever the hunters come back with food, that's a blessing that they didn't all just die, and you're warriors, are no longer there to be able to protect you, or you have less coming back than went out, that not only weakens your position, but that affects how your tribe eats. That affects how the people who can't necessarily defend themselves sleep, their, psychological well-being. Are they going to live through the night? All of that is kind of entangled together.
Damn, bro. I did pick one out for you. Daily needs are celebrated or revered in practice always. And by daily needs, food, shelter, clothing, warmth, are all practiced or are all revered in practice always.
Like even water, there's not like wells and stuff. You have to go to a river. If you don't have a source of water that's safe to go to, that's a challenge as well. Just one of the necessities that you need.
Can these people not have it? Can they not be like a little simple? Can they have it like down pat? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what?
Or these like, can they not have it like down pat? Or is like, am I gonna meet? Okay, hold on. Let's slow down. Let's slow down. Because,
It's not gonna be always like that, but.
Yeah. But say like, if the world's that hard, again, nobody's gonna want to come here because it's like, you meet this little girl and you're like, wow, how cool, and then she gets eaten by a hyena, like, she just never comes back, and kidding. People are like, you're like, how do I ever get close to these people? This place is trying to kill me all the time, and this place has its tests, and you have to earn its respect. I mean, you have to earn your way here, but I think these people got it down pat, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume
constant raiders.
I would assume that it's not gonna be like 24/7 death watch,
Or is this place Mad Max?
I mean, I would say it'd be more like Africa.
Yeah, there are many different ways of Africa,
well,
but
just like
I think
where everything's very
Africa's huge,
what's the word I'm looking for?
You know what?
Very basic, simple. There's no outside influences. It's just tribes surviving out in the wild.
Okay. So you're talking about like uncontacted tribe, right? Like uncontacted tribes in the rainforest, things like that, or in the, savannas, and okay, interesting.
So there's always that sense of danger from wildlife and the environment.
I mean, there are definitely stories of like an alligator like snatching somebody while they're getting water, right? But it's not every person because they just quit getting water there.
No, and I'm not.
That's why to a place.
That's why I'm trying to say, like, I'm not saying that's every time that you go to a river to fetch water, you have to roll a check to see if you live or die. It's more just me stating, these are situations that could come up, because I'm just trying to highlight how primitive this area is.
Okay, and so we're gonna go primitive with it too. I like that. I like the dichotomy of a primitive culture from the outside having a much more advanced understanding of like harmonious society on the inside kind of thing, right? Like, oh, we could never achieve this because we're in constant competition with you know, with our neighbors over the borders that we draw and blah, you know, like all these things are like, I don't understand what's a border. You know, like if he comes over here and I can't stop him, that's that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He earned his right to come over here because I couldn't stop him. And that, you know, I think that doesn't always look like violence or fight to the death, you know, kind of thing. All right, image.
Don't forget,
Mm-hmm.
clocks change tonight.
My computer will do it, won't it?
Or this morning. Yeah, but just saying you lose an hour.
Yeah, okay. Small standing stone. Shrine.
You trying to make a shrine or something?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to make a scene in my head here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take a second. I'm gonna think about the scene. Got this old woman. We got the shrine. She's tending to it. What's she doing? She's not lighting candles. Like a prairie craglands.
What type of shrine, and what is it for?
Don't know that part yet either. But we do have some parameters. We definitely have some reference points. We have small standing stone shrine is what I did. Or would it be carved?
Yeah. Or is it just literally pieced together by things that they've found?
Stacked on top of like stacked on top of each other, like
boulders stacked on top.
That's cool.
with like some sort of paint.
Also like that idea of larger than like the two giant dudes. Who the fuck carved those guys?
Yeah.
Like stonemasons out here are
Hard to
on
find.
point, bro. Who the fuck carved those dudes? That's what I think. Like when I would say, I'd be like,
yeah, orcs didn't do
who
this.
did that? But what? But those are the people that are here. So maybe they did.
Maybe.
Somebody
maybe
had
stone
to.
giants.
Yeah, they are typically good with working stone, right? Like carving stone and stuff like that. So any of like, what about like Aztec or like American temples, Incan, Mayan, Azteca, indigenous American, right? Central American temples, you know, they have that, they're like that stepped temple. So that's some really cool imagery as well. All right. And then all right. So I'm gonna generate this first image here. We want to get a. I need to see your screen too, because I'd like you can see what I'm working on, right? Oh, I can't see what you're working on, man.
No, you won't be able to see it.
If I pull up the screen. Hold on.
I just been tabbing back and forth, kind of on and off of yours.
Mm-hmm.
See what you type here and there, and then I just turn it off, just for the ease of the eyes.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna start doing some images and stuff now, right?
Well, since we're starting to build a shrine and things like that, populating some sort of area. I think once we do that, then maybe I'll make some maps for it.
All right. Mortal Woes. Is it one word?
Mortal Woes.
Yeah, there it is.
For the stream. You have a link I sent you.
Yeah, well, I found it now.
Yeah.
Okay, you just said okay, so you just have this here now for now. Okay, cool. Well, then this is not what I wanted at all. So okay, where do you want to go next? I will let you lead the way, sir.
Okay.
So what are you feeling here?
I know we're kind of bouncing around a little bit, but don't have that much time left, so I'm gonna go back to one of my little questions here.
Oh, cool.
And maybe see. What would you say that you like creating most for D&D?
That is thank you. That's really cool. That's a good question. I like creating. Now that I like creating very, very terrifying situations for my players, so they like constantly feel stressed out and that they're gonna die at any moment, and that it's just like there's just never a breather. And I don't mean to like that, but I do. But so I want to get away from that because that's not always fun. It's fun for like a little bit. There's not enough diversity there. What I really like creating is a connection with the people that I play with, so that I can get to know them, and then I can allow a safe space for them to, you know, explore or be like, just try something new, or like do something that they've never done before, they've always been afraid to do. The real world is scary, and it's easy to fall into the behaviors that work, you know? And yeah, you could stand up to your boss, but oh no, what if I get fired? Or worse, or worse, or worse. But really, it's what if I stand up for myself? You know? Is really where that's at. And then, or what if I stand up for, you know, something that I think is just right? And it's not just your boss, but the real world is a scary place for that. You don't know how it's going to work. So I like creating spaces where people can, get to know somebody. I give them that experience. Just give them that space to do that. And then all of the people that's playing that game, we just react like fucking normal people and not like their worst nightmare imagination that's been kind of gripping them. And they get to grow, and you get to pretend to be somebody else. And if that person dies, we get to make a new one. And, so it's so safe to be, I don't know, something new. And if it doesn't work, it's okay. Or if you don't know how it would work because you've never practiced it, it's okay. That's what I like creating, is those kind of spaces.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Which of those spaces did you experience whenever I first ran a game for you?
You mean like the impending doom?
That was yep. Yep. And
I didn't always feel like that. It was, I mean, and I don't even feel like every combat encounter felt like that either. So, I could tell that the tree was scary. If you
Was it
remember
really?
that.
I do remember the tree. That was scary for you?
Um. Well. Do I want to say it was scary? Maybe it was more cool, or I
Okay.
thought it could be scary.
Mm-hmm.
But as a player, or I guess it was scary as Oleron. Um,
Which is interesting. I also like creating um these moments of it was scary as Oleron. That's another thing. Other people I play with are like, they will tell me that when they did that, I was appalled. I'm like, that was just me, right? I was just making a different voice. Or they'd be like, oh God, I love that person.
mm.
Like again, just me, different voice. And
It's like, wait,
um,
that's me.
yeah,
It's like,
like
no,
I
but
feel like
nah,
yeah,
it was.
yeah, yeah, dude, that shopkeeper sucks, right? And I'm like, again, but they're telling me that. Like I wasn't there and I didn't know the guy or something. Like I just catch those little moments, just like when you said, has Oleron. And I love that too. That's really fun. The suspension of disbelief and to just kind of be in that moment. Sorry, I hijacked your answer for more of my answer. I
Nah, you're
apologize.
good.
Yeah. What about you, Ethan? What are your what was that? It was favorite parts? Favorite things to create in D&D?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what are you? Maps.
I feel like
All maps, all
I'm.
maps, all maps, all maps.
I feel like I've honed my incarnate skills, but uh,
Oh yeah.
I don't know like about like the past few games that I've ran, but
Mhm.
um, I really enjoyed creating, and I enjoyed how it, the original campaign turned out.
Your first campaign?
Yes,
Okay. The
I
first campaign through New Mestria.
so the story basically um, is what
Please
I
tell me,
liked.
Dungeon Daddy.
It's what I liked
Tell me the
creating.
story, Dungeon Daddy.
Uh,
What were your highlight moments in the story, you know? What was your favorite parts of telling the story here?
um, so even though it's just like the intro for everybody to come here, or to get to, for everybody to meet up, I
Which was
liked,
railroad, super
I,
railroad
I,
intro.
I liked the magical carriage that's like the inside of a Harry Potter tent.
hmm That was cool.
Even though I'm just, basically tooting my own horn here, but
Mhm. And it
that
was a
was a
great
memorable moment for
device.
me.
It was a memorable moment for me too. It immediately, first things first, it informed all of us as players that we were going to a very fantastic place. Like the adventure we were about to go on, the world we were about to experience was highly magical. Because even the most mundane things were, you know, there was much more to them. It was much deeper. Um, that was really cool. That was actually a really cool narrative element. Also, because we were all inside that, the space. It was much deeper and blah blah blah. I mean, a couple onion layers to that one.
Um, One thing I guess just going through the thing, I didn't thinking or looking back on it, I didn't really care for um, the arena and fighting the dragon, even though the
Okay.
dragon turned into a cool part of the story later on.
Yes. Um. Well, holy shit! I just realized is is faded in here.
I don't know. Paging faded.
Is he? Yeah. Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. I gave Faded the curse. Didn't I? It was that dragon, wasn't it? Right? Is that
Yeah, I would say that was like the only dragon, so.
Holy shit. From the
Yeah,
very
all the same
wow,
dragon.
dude. And so okay, so this is what I remember about that. You okay, so you literally railroaded us with that beautiful metaphor of what you imagined storytelling would be. I don't know if you did that purposefully or if you did it subconsciously or stumbled into it, but it is a beautiful allegory, of what the literal adventure is going to be. Like, we all get inside a carriage, it's bigger on the inside, it's super magical. We're all in the ride together. And also it's on like we can't control it, like it's being magically driven. It's just taking us to a place.
Yeah.
And then we're like told you must fight, which is problematic for me, being like a monk of peace and order, and like, but I don't wanna, you know, like, kind
Well,
of.
it was set up so how it was presented basically is that, before everybody got on, a little piece of backstory was shared. And it was basically the moment or the reason why you were getting on the carriage, because the queen was summoning champions, and whoever was worthy, they ended up giving him the quest to go try to find
Get a
Arnold
book
Chow,
back.
and yeah,
Get a ledger back. Like, her accountant stole a ledger and she had to send a magical carriage out.
he stole the book.
He stole
It,
a book,
it
yeah.
wasn't just a book; it was the book.
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't know that at the time. And I think that now I would have went more into that, you know what I'm saying? I probably would have uh riffed on that a little harder. Like, it's just a dude with a book, what's the big deal? Like, I'll write you another one. Calm down.
I'd say another thing would be that you guys seem to like scribbles. So I thought that was a pretty solid thing that I was happy about. That and the tower itself, even though I destroyed it.
That's the nature of the beast, homie.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the thing, though. Like, some places are too great to.
The ruins of that tower are a place we can revisit, man.
Yeah, it's archaeological dig site now, right?
Yeah,
People
man, we should totally
stumble upon it, like it was here, right? It's gonna be excavated and
could be.
wizard
We could go.
schools. That's where Riki needs to go. She's looking for.
Oh, not Idrid?
Or Idri. I mean, they're like partners, right? Partners in crime.
Yeah. Good help. Yeah,
Riki's
good help is so
favorite.
hard to find. Yeah. Does anybody have, or Ethan, do you have any? Now, this is where I'm going to reach out to the community to help with my creation, with my creativity. Images in their head, or images that I can use to help kind of bring the lens down into of this like disparate image that I have. Like I said, I like to create people with like, like people who feel real, or wildly unreal, in the same regard too. It's also really fun. Etma, you still with us? Yeah. Okay. Here is the first image. Going to see, I'm gonna open a new tab. Then I'm going to just do that. Oh, perfect. All right. So this is, Ethan, the first image that I've generated.
All right.
This is not what I was seeing in my head, right? So my prompt engineering was a little off here for what I was seeing. That's okay, because what do we think? If you think maybe less people, is it monolithic shrines?
That's not established.
Oops. What are you, man? Get out of here. Okay. And this is just obviously not a finalized image at all.
What inspired you to create Numestria and or DM for the first time? Oh gosh.
Didn't you have a DM, like you were playing a game and then your DM experienced burnout and of trying to generate something that was, bigger than he was capable of at that time, and like it was, almost necessity. That's how I remember it.
The creation of Numestria just came about as I wanted to build a world. That was about it. I think the inspiration to create Numestria came from the inspiration to be a DM. I feel like
what does that mean to you, by the way, at the end of this?
I have a I feel like I have this about a lot of things. I have like an all or nothing mentality. So I get excited about something and it's just like full blown 100% unless I can't do it. So there are things I'll get like really excited about and then I'll find out that like I don't have access, whether it's like knowledge base or financial base or whatever the obstruction is.
I find myself in that spot a lot.
Like if I can't get access to it at that point, it just dies and I'll move on to the next thing.
What was it about this that like just won't die?
So yeah, I needed a world. What do you mean that just won't die?
I mean that I probably should just type my questions and let you finish yours. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
Yeah.
DMing for the first time. Well, I believe the first game that I played was under Justin, and I just really like playing. And yeah, I got to the point where Justin needed some time to recuperate, and I don't think
Burnout's
anybody,
real, guys.
I don't think anybody else that we played with was willing or knew how to DM. I think Nick probably had the knowledge base because I think he had played before, but
it's a oh, sorry.
It might also be like, I'm sure you guys will probably like shake your head yes immediately, but like a control issue for me. Like I really like not necessarily the control, but I like I like creating the story. Like just, all the movies that we watch, all the stories like Lord of the Rings and stuff. I've always I think it would be awesome to be able to make a movie or do acting or even just voice acting or any of that sort of any part of that realm. I always thought would be really cool. I also thought before, it'd be really cool to write a book, but anytime I try to write something, I am not good at writing, but I have a lot of imagination. And this is an easy way for me to put my imagination to use to be able to potentially create a cool story for other people. So this is my way to make movies, basically.
I will say, you make more than a cool story, right? Whenever you run your games, you make really, really complicated maps. That's more than a cool story. You make like sandbox. Pals, you said like control, right? Control. There's never once been a time whenever we were playing and it was like you were like, that's not how that's supposed to go, and just forced us one way or forced us another, or whenever you're playing under me, or sorry, that's the wrong way to say that. Whenever I am telling the story or I'm DMing and you're a player, there's not times when you're like, well, that's not how I wanted it to be. You create a comfort zone, you know what I'm saying? Of I'm never afraid to, when we're playing the games together, by the way, to ask or try to, make something happen. I know something about what I would say about the situation you're going to make happen, even if it is tackle a dragon. You let me push a dragon over and throw a net on it, and then you let us have it walk around with us.
Yeah, well, I mean, as a monk, you had a monk too, right? So it failed both of its stunning strike saves. So
sure.
I mean, I feel like if something's stunned, which means you can't do anything, you'd easily be able to just tie it up and. Well, Rolflin also spoke Draconic.
There was some role playing involved.
And the way I saw it is, I mean, dragons are intelligent. So, yeah, you guys stunned the shit out of it. You guys tied it up, and it was in a position to where it could either assist you or it could just die. Right? I mean, you guys wouldn't have just let it go.
I don't know.
You had Zalin in your group, so you guys wouldn't have just let it go.
So that was yeah.
You would have collected dragon scales for magic items.
You your first play group, by the way, was a very interesting one, I think, you know. In the sense that I'm also generating an image, so brain offy. An interesting one where you had a DM, right, ready to like let his brain relax and enjoy the moment. You had new players who were also, you know, some of them had played in the same game, in the first game that you played in, right? Everybody but Kevin, maybe?
No, Kevin was in the first one.
So the Chadman?
Everybody but Chad.
And you know, he's just one of those people who, like, we think we love stories. That dude loves freaking stories too, man. And so you had a very, like, kind of easy group, you know? You had an easy group. Sure. To really help you, or to really allow you to, like, you know, get, you know, practice and play and have fun with us. And I remember my first group was like a bunch of raucous, you know, 15-year-olds with no social skills, because that's the people who played D&D when I was 15, and were, you know, just hell-bent on the idea of being like, I'm a giant dragon with bat wings and a flaming sword. It's like, that's cool, dude. I happen to be a snake that's alive and also dead and possessed by a god and trying to get out. And you're like, cool. We're all level 1, by the way, you know. And then, like, another person's like, oh yeah, I'm a halfling rogue because all the numbers work the best. And the DM's like, okay, this is great, you know. You guys walk into a town, I kill somebody, I steal something, I burn that down. You're like, welp, what, fuck. And then you laugh, you have fun, but, like, where do you go after that? You know, like, what? How many towns am I gonna, like, really put effort and energy into after that? Where I know what they're going to do is they're going to try to take everything from whatever's in there.
Burn it all down.
They're gonna try to kill anybody who's in there. So I think I would have killed to have had your first play group, like your first play group, man.
Yeah, I waited till the right time.
I waited till what? Early 30s?
Yeah, no big deal.
All right. So,
right. Go ahead.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
I'll just set up. I'm probably gonna get off in a couple of minutes. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna ask what you were working on.
Oh. I mean, honestly, I haven't been working on anything this whole time. Just been chatting.
Oh, cool. Well, here I thought that. Okay, hold on. Here I thought that this was gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna be productive and stuff, and.
Yeah, I feel like we have been productive.
I think so too.
We didn't create anything physically. I mean, you've been creating things physically, but
I've just been doing stuff with my hands while talking to you. Like I've been so unproductive, honestly. I
mean,
other than like I feel like I know
highlighting, you know, the Citadel, going over things like that. I
feel like I know the people of the Citadel in just those like couple of truths we made better than any other people of Numestria so far.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we didn't create any resources, physical resources, but I think anybody that's listening in chat that plays in our games now knows the BFC.
What's the BFC?
The Bloodfist Citadel.
I was like, the big fucking what? The big fucking Cheeto?
Yeah.
They
know it a lot better, and they have a better understanding of what it would be like to be there. I mean, we almost talked about it for an hour and a half, and we got something going here.
Who's in our
I know Evan's in here because he just sent the message about what the inspiration for creating Numestria and DMing for the first time.
Evan, why are you not? I know I talk a lot, but why aren't you asking me any questions, man? What the heck? Are there other of our players still in the chat? You said.
I don't know. Looking at the stream chat's weird. Like it shows 3 people, but I see, Etma TV. Or now the viewers has like a list of 6 people or 7 people.
Oh, nice.
But, it shows like people that were in here, and half of them are probably bots. And
oh, that's cool.
I don't know how to see like an active list of viewers. I don't even know if you can.
Well, that's an interesting thing. Okay.
It's something to figure out, but.
Wait.
Did you have anything you wanted to share real quick?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Was I supposed to have something I was supposed to share? And I forgot it? Okay, cool.
No.
Before we get off.
Yeah, I was just gonna give you an opportunity before we do maybe like a closing thoughts or maybe ideas for what we want to do next time.
Okay. I'm not sure. I anticipated this all day, right? I anticipated this and then was like completely like scatterbrained and disheveled. But I like this. What about you? What are your thoughts? How have you felt about this? And where do you think it can go?
So I think that it's kind of funny because, we do this normally anyways, but now we're just putting like a time limit on it. So instead of staying up until like 4 in the morning, it's like, hey, we'll just do this for 2 hours, record it, and we'll just go to bed, right? Or at least I will. Because well, if Evan's boys are wanting to play tomorrow morning, I need to be up for that.
Are you continuing that game as well?
Yeah, tomorrow will be kind of like the last session, and the plan was to have this last session and then see if they want to keep playing, but I'm pretty sure they want to keep playing, so I think Evan may have offered to run it maybe, or we'll just see. The plans are kind of up in the air, so.
Okay.
But if they're wanting to play, then
well, then you'll run a game.
Something will be ran, yeah.
That's always fun. Well, cool. You know what? I'm looking forward to hearing about some fun stories about you running a D&D game for children. You know, and because that's got to be that absolute madhouse. And then yeah, man. When will we do this next, do you think? When is our what are you feeling?
I mean, yeah, that's a good question. We'll have to
Desperately
figure out our schedules and, you know, are you wanting this to be like a multi-day a week? Are you wanting to do this just like, once a week? So obviously our Saturday nights seem pretty open, but if we're wanting to do this more than just Saturday,
yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with it just being on Saturdays, but
that wasn't a real clear answer for me. From you, as much as I do a much clearer job of like creating stuff, weird format, first time, a lot of excitement. So I do this multiple times a week anyway, so I don't know, man. Just I like it.
Yeah.
I liked the vibe actually a lot. I like the directed questions,
Yeah, for me it's just more about finding a time to be able to do it, and not be up till like 2 in the morning on a work day, since I work Monday through Friday.
Well, yeah. We can talk schedules. Are we still recording?
Yeah.
We're still live? Okay. Okay. Do you want to talk schedules while we're live, or do you want to do that?
That's fine.
After maybe. Okay.
Well, let's just do some maybe closing thoughts, maybe, and then we
Yeah.
can get off and talk about schedules.
Yeah. Okay. I am so glad that you allow my style of creativity a boundary to bounce around in, like a wild freaking ball, and see where the paint lands. Get, just hyper focused on like particular aspects, pull back from it, because I think what is left is, I don't know, it's like it feels good to create, it feels really, really good to create. And so, yeah, that's it. This is awesome. And as we go on doing this, once we have more tangible ideas, we can create assets, and we actually both happen to use a lot of tools and know how to do that as well, and we will be showing that, right? Like us generating assets for players, and to get the same kind of understandings of the world if they're not so imaginative, or they're not so auditorily involved in playing the game. These are things that they can interact with that also help bring them into that story and help them tell it.
Yeah, for sure. Evan mentioned the podcast vibe was great, to be honest.
Well, Evan,
I think it is
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed this session. Not even making anything, just chatting. It's always good. I like discussing the world that we're trying to build, and what's the word I'm looking for? Vitalize, I guess.
Explore it, man.
Fill. Populate. Bring to life.
Yeah, man. Make it like the space that the players go into. needs to feel real, you know? And they're gonna cling on to whatever you give them. So if you
Yeah.
give them monsters and you give the every time they step out of a wooden structure, they fight something, don't think that like don't be surprised whenever like somebody's walking through the woods and they just murder that person, you know?
Hmm.
Like, what, dude? We kill people in the woods. We've done it 100 times. Why
Do
would
it
this
all
be
the
any different?
time.
Yeah. Anytime I'm not in a tavern,
Hmm.
you are trying to trick me. I remember this. So creating like a non-violent world where it's just regular, you know, just regular ass world. It's fantastic or whatever. So the excitement is whenever things get harrowing. Um, and why are you even fighting this thing? Because of, I don't know, the regular world that you have grown attached to. That wasn't just you see a human barkeep, what do you want? And that's it. You know,
Hmm.
2 copper
Aye.
you're going to,
What will it be?
and you're gonna bargain them down to 1 copper. And anyway, yeah, I want to make more than that, and I think this would be a good space for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
I think for me, I'll probably stay away from doing like I guess do something different than from what you're doing. So like the mid-journey stuff. So I'll probably just
Okay.
focus on making maps because that'll be easier for me because in current, you know, it's all on one screen. So that'll be easier for me, and then maybe explore kind of like how you're talking about, you know, maybe do some like NPC creation. So that way it's not just, you know, what'll it be? Like maybe I need to go through and just build some NPCs out that I can select from.
Yeah, I was thinking
I mean, I
some
know there's
of the
tools out there, but I'd rather make my own because that's just how I
yeah,
am.
hmm and I always reference them too. I mean, because knowledge is you know, like to ignore the things that are out there and not have them, you know, understand them and see why you would change them. Um, but um, I think that I would like to also create for like the tangible things. I have this love of magic items that are not just +1 weapons, +1 armor, um, something that feels like cool to use, has unique property. It's magical because it does a thing, not because I told you it's a magic sword, right? Or it just glows or something, you know. Um, giving the players more options to spark their creativity, more options to do crazy shit. So, um, I don't have to, I don't have to do so much, you know. Give them a paint, you know, hand them paintbrushes and let them paint on the world so that they can create the story. So I can just sit back and watch at times. Um, so with like those items, and then let's see, what was it? Yeah, I mean, is there any other like now that we're on that topic, are there other projects that you had in mind before we got on our rant here that you definitely tried to control? He did his best, everybody. He really, really did. I'm still learning social structure.
I guess I'll just circle back to NPC ideas. I was going
hmm
to mention that, yeah, there are some ongoing projects, so maybe I'll just focus on those first. So,
hmm
um, you know, working on the Flora tables,
yes.
building out some of
Yes.
those.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a good
Does
workflow for that
that
as well.
won't take too much time, and then yeah, that'll provide you with the assets that you need to do what you're doing. And then we can
Which
show
you,
it off.
yeah, man, and show it off and get input too. I am not a professional graphic designer, so if you happen to be, be like, hey man, those colors clash, hook a brother up.
That'll also work well together with your magic item building, because once you have these assets, I mean, these potions can very well have magical properties that you can create to give players special treats.
Absolutely, yes. Love that idea, man. Love that idea. Wouldn't you like an extra, like, bonus action? Or, like, what about an extra reaction that wasn't just, he walked away from me. Can I try to hit him with my sword as he's running away?
He walked away from me, so I poured a flask of acid on him.
Oh, God. Okay. Okay, sure, yeah. I love that I've started to incorporate less serious DMing reactions and more like observer reactions when my players do stuff, and I've been getting a really good kind of space for it, they and describe how you end him. I'm like, you're a psychopath. You're an absolute psychopath. Or so yeah, man. You better click in. I'm gonna keep talking.
All right. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.
See you guys next time.